Hey guys, welcome back into the channel. Welcome to the Raw After Clash in Italy's review right here on the Wrestling with Webby channel. And I appreciate every single one of you for choosing me to get your info on this. If you choose not to watch WWE product, which has its ups and downs and all this crap. I'm just going to say that because, hey, look, I know that yesterday I went on my review and talked about Clash in Italy and didn't just crap all over it. I kind of had a mixed review, which you can see on my channel right now. I had kind of a mixed review on Clash in Italy. There was some positives and there were some negatives to it, okay, in my eyes. But the one thing I am going to say about Monday Night Raw today is, what happened to the actual king and queen of the ring tournament that we all grew up loving to watch? Two fatal four-ways Triple H is not it. Two fatal four-way quarterfinal matchups is not it to lead into the semifinals. Putting Liv Morgan in it, when you have Maxine Dupree to put in it, or anybody else on the roster, is not it. Simply because she wants all the gold, she wants all the glory. What a crock of crap. Not gonna work. The Bloodline story. Now, I stated yesterday that I was okay with Roman Reigns winning, and I was okay with the tribal combat and the direction that it was going, as long as Jacob Fatu didn't come out and do the same old crap. And what did we get today? We got Jacob Fatu filling the shoes of Solo Sikoa. That's what we got, wrestling fans. That was the entire segment to open up the show. That's it. We got Solo Sikoa's spot filled by Jacob Fatu. And some dissension between Jacob Fatu and Jey Uso, because Jey Uso is trying to run things still, pulling Jacob Fatu down the aisle, saying that Jacob Fatu is late on his first night on the job, things of that nature. We got the same old crap. And Jacob Fatu coming out and saying, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief, but I'm not acknowledging Jey Uso. And he got out on one knee, the whole 9 yards. Same old crap. I hope this storyline advances and we don't just continue to get rinse and repeat all the way through next year, because we know that Roman Reigns is going to keep that strap for a whole year. We do. Alright? I mean, if with Obafemi, and I'm not saying that he's going to be defending that title against Obafemi at next year's WrestleMania. That's way too farther down the road booking for WWE. They are in the moment. They are in the moment booking. We would all agree with that. But if he is supposed to end up defending that title against Obafemi, that clearly is at next year's WrestleMania. That is not at SummerSlam. Based off what Obafemi said tonight or this afternoon, depending on where we're at, depending on where you're at, okay, where I'm at, it was this afternoon. Obafemi pretty much won the Fatal 4-Way contest like we knew that he was going to. WWE, I will say, did a good job. They wrapped up his arm. They made it where he was selling the 7 F5s that it took for Brock Lesnar to put him down, okay, yesterday in Clash in Italy. So they did a good job with that. I'm not going to complain about that. One thing, however, okay, Obafemi already came out and stated, I'm going to meet you again. We're 1-1. I'm going to meet you again. Okay? Would I have done that? No. I wouldn't have had Obafemi go ahead and say that. I probably would have had Brock Lesnar attack Obafemi in the semifinal matchup. That's what I would have done. Now, yeah, Obafemi has to have some type of response. Of course, he does. But Obafemi's not winning that King of the Ring tournament. Not a chance. And speaking of the Queen of the Ring tournament, Io Sky won her Fatal 4-Way contest. I'm not complaining about that. One thing I am going to say is, though, I hope they don't do the rinse and repeat and they give us something different. Because the rinse and repeat is to have Io Sky win. Now, I know I just made some of you all salty by saying that. Do I care? No. You know, Raw and WWE, where they have good moments, which they're good moments, it makes us happy. I'm going to say that. The moments make us happy. Underneath all the moments, it's crap. Okay? Underneath it, it is. Because, yeah. Last night, yesterday, at Clash in Italy, the event was a good show to watch. There was holes in the show that made you scratch your head. Like, not enough time for Cody Rhodes and Gunther's match. The same booking over and over again with the foot on the ropes. We got the same thing in the main event with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker on Raw today. I like the ending where Seth Rollins went out and was confronting Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman got speared through the barricade. Braun Breaker speared himself right into a title when he was going to spear Seth Rollins. Curve stomp, 1, 2, 3. They had a good matchup. One thing I'm going to say, Michael Cole, though, is you say that you say that Braun Breaker has been putting on a stellar matchup. He's been doing a hell of a job, all that crap. Let me tell you, he might have been for the people in the arena, but don't say that as soon as you get back from commercial break, because we hadn't seen any of the show yet. We get back from the first commercial break, and Seth Rollins is standing there, and they have been singing his song for for the last 9 commercials that we have to sit through. And then they have a pretty good few minutes back and forth. But then we go to the commercial break, we come back, and Braun Breaker has been doing yada, 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 with nothing to back it up. There's no instant replays. There's nothing. No instant replays. There's nothing to show us what he did during the commercial break. Something's got to change with that. Like I said, a okay show with holes in it. King and Queen of the Ring tournament. The Fatal Four, the King and Queen of the Ring tournament used to be a full pay-per-view. 16 men, 16 women, and all throughout the night, they had to win so many matches. At the end, they were the King and Queen of the Ring. Y'all remember when they did the King of the Ring pay-per-view like that? Now you got 2 fatal 4-ways leading into the semifinals. If you ask me, and maybe I'm just old school, maybe I've been watching wrestling so long that it makes me old school and I notice stuff like that. Even though the match itself will be good when it comes off on the show, but the meaning of the king and queen of the ring gets diminished because they don't have to go through as much in one night. Just my thought. Just how I'm looking at the show. When I think of professional wrestling, when I think of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, I'm not even looking at who's in it, because who's in these, clearly we're going to see Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins more than likely again, because there is no way that Obafemi goes to the finals and wins. It is not happening. Whoever wants Obafemi to go to SummerSlam to face Roman Reigns for the world title, it's not happening. It's not. Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam. What better place to end that score than SummerSlam in Brock Lesnar's hometown, Minneapolis, Minnesota? Only makes sense. And if they choose to put that on Saturday night's main event and then have Brock Lesnar face Gunther, I think the majority of us is going to puke. I don't know. Monday Night Raw, not that bad of a show. It sounds like I'm just cringing and crapping all over it. But, I mean, it was not a terrible show. I like that it opened with a talking segment, it's good to have some promo in there. And I like that it opened with promos and ended with wrestling. It's good to have a mixture of that sometimes. You don't always have to end it with a wrestling. You don't always have to end it with a promo. Mix it sometimes. You don't always have to open it with a promo. Open it with wrestling sometimes. You don't always have to throw somebody through a table every single time you have a promo. I like that they didn't do that with the Bloodline story this time. However, all we got was Solo Sikoa with Jacob Fatu. That is all Jacob Fatu is now. That's it. No matter how you spin it, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, or whoever else would be in that spot, that is all you have. In WWE on Raw, they have recreated Roman Reigns' bloodline from a few years ago before he lost the WWE Universal title to Cody Rhodes. That's it. That's it. Guys, that's what Raw was. Okay, that's what Raw was. 2 fatal 4-way matches. Obafemi won one. I already told you Io Sky won the other. The 2 closing segments. We got Sol Ruka coming out, and she was talking some. I like that they threw that in there. Also, gotta have her gloat a little bit about her win. Okay, more than likely we'll see her defend it against somebody soon, and I hope it's not Becky Lynch. Move Becky Lynch away from the IC title. Tired of her being around the IC strap. That's just me, wrestling fans. Y'all let me know what you're thinking about that in the comments below. As a matter of fact, you let me know what you're thinking about the whole show in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed this review of Monday Night Raw, make sure you leave me a big thumbs up, comment down below, share, and of course, if you are a subscriber on this channel, thank you very much. And if you're not one, if you have not become one yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. A lot of great content comes on this channel each and every week. So make sure you become one today. And of course, until I see you again, this is Webby. I'll catch all of you on the other side. Talk to you later.